everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, the DRF race of the day for Friday, July the 14th. Race number 9 at Saratoga. We're going 5.5 furlongs on the turf. This is the Coronation Cup. It's 150 grander for 3-year-old fillies. Let's take a peek at this field. Please scan or click the QR code for Race of the Day access on mobile, which includes free Formulator Pass performances. 8 in the body of the race. The 9 L Street Lady is entered main track only. And Mike, the number 4 Love Reigns is a very deserving 7-5 favorite, despite not having raced in about 3 months. She was so visually impressive, overcoming trouble last time at Keeneland.
I think you just have to look at her as the horse to beat in this race, Dan. She was, as you've already mentioned, she was awful good winning her 3-year-old debut with some trouble. All of her, listen, she didn't run great at the Breeders' Cup last year against Colts. All of her other starts outside of that one, they're all really good performances. To me, she's way the horse to beat.
Now, she did rally into a fast pace, albeit into trouble last time out in the Keeneland race, the Limestone. We throw up the Timeform US pace projector for the Coronation Cup. You'll note that there's a blue bar, which indicates this pace could be slower, favoring front runners. The good news concerning Love Reigns is that she has shown adaptability in her career, a gate-to-wire winner in her debut, and see, she sat just off the pace in second when winning a stake here at Saratoga last year.
Yeah, I don't know that I'm going to agree with this pace projector too much, Dan. Maybe it'll play out this way. I certainly do think the 8 will try to show speed from the outside. Love Reigns is supposed to be much more forwardly placed in this race, particularly if there's not a lot of other speed showing, because she's fast enough to do that. The 3, Anna's Arabesque, that horse has shown improved speed in her last 2 starts. Even the 2, Love Appeals, who is on a little bit of a cutback here, she's a super handy horse. I don't think she's going to be that far away.
And the 6 Wild Hawk has shown speed on dirt. If she can transfer that sort of early zip as she turns back to 5.5 on the lawn, maybe she'll be up close. But Basarati, the 8 coming up from Laurel, she's very fast. That's her running style. She's going to go. Whether she faces pressure, we'll find out. A horse that's hoping she faces some pressure is the number 1 My Sweet Affair, whose late rally fell a half-length shy against Basarati last time out at Laurel. She was favored that day, and she just ran out of ground.
Yeah, she did. I feel like when I went back and watched it, I don't know if you would agree with this or not. I think you could easily argue that with a little bit of a different trip, My Sweet Affair might have won that race. I don't know. Maybe I'm giving her a little bit too much credit. I thought she lost position early in that race, and it really cost her. I really liked her career debut when she won. I think she's run fine in all 3 of her starts since then. She didn't have a real excuse when Love Reigns beat her in her second career start, but it was only her second career start. I think she's pretty dangerous in this race.
And even in that race, she was only beaten a length and she was running on at the end. Maybe she'll get some pace. Rad takes the mount. Rad was aboard for the lone lifetime victory in the debut at Gulfstream. I expect her to make a good, strong late kick. The 2 is Love Appeals. She's 2 for 3 lifetime. Mike mentioned her most recent start, a first-level allowance at Aqueduct going 3/4 of a mile. She showed good speed in this race, but Manny Franco opted to rate her back into the pocket. Christophe Clement likes to have his horses covered up on turf. Love Appeals tips out. Love Appeals makes the lead. Love Appeals beats 2 next out winners.
This is an impressive win for this filly with an 87 buyer too. I mean, she just storms home in this race and gives this field no chance. And as you mentioned, Dan, she showed good speed from the start, but she could have been on the lead. They just didn't want her there. She's really, really handy early in her races. That gives me a little bit of confidence that cutting back again for this race now to 5.5 furlongs maybe won't be that much of an issue. There's a little layoff that you have to concern yourself with here. She was entered in the Grade 3 Soaring Softly at the end of May, was scratched from that race, and it looks like she missed a little time after that. But she looks like she has a good amount of potential, and I do think she can get the right trip in this race.
Although the number 3, Anna's Arabesque, has not won on turf. She's hit the board in all 3 prior grass efforts and is coming into this race off a victory in an off-turf race at Ellis Park. And she showed a versatile running style. She was a little slow to get out of the gate in her first 2 starts. She still showed enough ability to get a piece coming from out of it. I think she's better, as Mike mentioned in the open, from slightly closer to the pace. I'm not sure she can make the lead, but I won't be surprised if she's in the thick of it when we turn for home at a price.
I kind of felt the same way about her. I don't know if she's fast enough to make the lead, but she has really found improved speed in her last 2 starts. I know the last one was on dirt, but she was pretty fast in that race. She contested that pace, and the horse that was up there on the pace with her made her race all the way into the stretch. She put that horse away and went on. I just think she's getting better with every start, Dan, and getting back to turf is not supposed to be a problem.
Love Reigns is the horse to beat. She won the Bolton's Landing last year at Saratoga. Here's her one and only start of 2023, the Limestone. She was in mid-pack early. She's going to try to split horses, and you're going to see she runs up onto heels. And this is some pretty significant trouble because she is stopped completely. Now where's she going to go? She's going to alter course to the inside. That's not really there. She's going to ease out again. She's going to split horses. There's no way she can win this race, right? We're running out of time. Well, she comes with a big, strong kick to win it. My Sweet Affair is third, but Love Reigns was pounds the best.
Yeah, super impressive in that race for all the reasons that you just sort of laid out there as we watched the replay. Dan, nothing really worked in that race. I even kind of feel like, and I know that the pace was solid in there, but I feel like all of that trouble started because Rosario didn't go forward. She broke from the gate fine in there. He could have gone forward with her. He didn't. And she wound up getting shuffled back, and it just left her in all that trouble that we saw through the stretch. She still overcame it. Rosario's not supposed to ride her that way, Dan, especially if that pace projector is right. If that pace isn't fast, she's got to be right up close. And if she is, she's going to be hard to beat.
The number 5, Violet Gibson, had the LP flag over her chiclet on the Timeform US pace projector. That indicates she has the fastest late pace rating. If this pace heats up, you can expect her to come make a good late kick. Now, this is going to be her first true turf sprint. In her prior 3 starts, she's gone 7.5 a 2-turn at Gulfstream, a 2-turn at Gulfstream, and then the mile over the Widener at Belmont last time out. What happened last time in the Wild Applause, Mike? I thought that was a situation where she just really didn't fire her best shot.
Yeah, she just didn't run that well. It was a pretty good field, so I guess you don't have to be too hard on her there, but she really didn't run that well. Her first 2 starts were okay. I'll be honest, Dan, I can't really say that I love her cutting back to this short distance.
Wild Hawk is the number 6. She showed speed last time out in the Jersey Girl Stakes on dirt. She tired late behind L Street Lady, who's an MTO in the Coronation Cup. She's got some turf pedigree, maybe not a ton of black type, but she's by an Australian sire out of a German mare. It screams turf.
Yeah, there's a lot of turf pedigree here. I guess you could just say, if nothing else, she really outran her odds last time in the Jersey Girl. That's a kind of a tough race to evaluate 3 of these horses back in here. The 2 favorites were total no-shows in there, and the long shots filled it out, including this horse. She's got a little speed. As you mentioned, she does have turf pedigree. She'll be a price in here if you like her.
Another horse trying turf for the first time, the 7, Unified Alliance. Javier Castellano takes the mount. This one will go first time, Tom Morley. Don't see a ton of turf here in this pedigree. I'm not really sold on the Unifieds just yet on the grass.
Yeah, I'm not either. Although I guess you could just say from at least at the start, he's getting some winners on the turf. So maybe it'll all work out. It's more dirt on the dam side as well. This horse is okay on the dirt, Dan. I think she's going to have to be way better than that on the turf courses, and I'll wait and see if she is.
The 8 Maserati earned a stakes placing against Statebreds last year on dirt at 2 for the high percentage Mid-Atlantic-based trainer Brittany Russell, but her game's just turned around since they've switched her to turf. She's won her last 3 races, all 3 on turf, including this race. This is the Stormy Blues going 5.5, and this is her style. She goes right to the lead. She says, "Catch me if you can," and My Sweet Affair, who isn't into the picture yet, is almost going to catch her, but almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. Maserati wins by a half.
Yeah, she's going to hold on. You're going to see her start to drift late in this race, Dan, as she's on a clear lead here. That's My Sweet Affair all the way on the outside, gaining ground, but it's a little too late. She's not a real threat in here. This horse is going to hold on. I'm not going to knock her. She's undefeated on the turf. She does have good speed. This is a way tougher race.
And completing the field is L Street Lady. She's entered main track only. She would be a very strong contender, obviously, if this race is washed off of the lawn. Before we get to our top selections, please click the subscribe button on the Daily Racing Form YouTube channel for the latest DRF videos. Top pick time for the Coronation. I think the chalk's just too tough in here, Mike, especially if Rosario is a little bit more aggressive this time around and gets her into a spot close to the expected moderate pace. Her last race just speaks for itself on the video.
That's how I looked at it, too. I didn't really want to bet against her in here, Dan. I think it's another good spot for her. I'm a little bit afraid of the 2 Love Appeals because I do think she has some talent, and she's handy enough to get a trip in this race, but I went for 2.
Yeah, I expect her to sit a nice pace tracking ground saving trip. I'm curious to see if My Sweet Affair can really pop from the back of the pack. I'm expecting her to try to make one run here under IRAD. 4-2-3-1 for Mike, 4-1-2-3 for me. The Coronation Cup is one of 2 stakes races at the spot on Friday. Best of luck.